What's the craziest way your friend betrays you? He started calling my girlfriend by her coffee order before he ever learned my middle name. We were the classic since middle school duo. Two gremlins who survived puberty and cafeteria pizza and thought that meant loyalty. He was always at my place, feet on my couch like he paid rent, chewing my snacks with the confidence of a man who owned the pantry. So when I noticed him laughing a little too hard at my girlfriend's jokes, I told myself it was friendly. Then friendly turned into helpful, which turned into helpful in italics. You need a ride home? He would ask her, while I was literally holding car keys like a decorative prop. He started doing that thing where he compliments a group, but aims the applause at one person. Y'all are the best, he said, staring directly at her like the word y'all had a singular target. I brushed it off, because that was obviously him just being overly nice. Then he accidentally texted her instead of me, and the message nearly gave my phone a fever. Had a great time with you today, with a winky face that was not meant to be there. She showed me, and my stomach did a small, offended cartwheel. He tried to play it off like a prank, which is not a prank so much as a confession with jazz hands. That is when she admitted he had been sliding into her DMs for weeks. He was not sliding, he was full on moving into her messages. I asked him about it, and he did Olympic level mental gymnastics. Just keeping the vibes positive, he said, like positivity needed an alibi. I figured we would set a boundary. He would apologize. Life would continue without emojis. Instead, he doubled down like a blackjack table with no dealer. Next time we hung out, he walked in holding only one coffee, and it was not for me. It was her exact order, iced, sweet, obnoxiously specific. With a heart over her name the size of my trust issues. He handed it to her like he was proposing to a straw. She laughed, a little nervous, and said thanks, and I laughed, a little unwell, and said wow. He did not bring me anything, not even a napkin, and I was the one who bought his gas last week. At that point, I pulled him aside and said we needed to talk like grown adults who have witnessed soap operas. He swore there was nothing going on. He swore on his mother. He swore on his favorite limited edition sneakers, which told me his priorities. I told him to stop, and he said okay, and then the next day he posted a playlist that suspiciously spelled out her initials. It was less subtle than a marching band in a library. Then came the performance. We were all at my place. Movie on, popcorn out, having a good night. My friend cleared his throat like a school principal, and turned to her with sincerity he rented for the afternoon. I just think you deserve someone who treats you right, he said. In my living room, with my Wi-Fi, putting on a full performance. I can do better, he added, and I felt my eyebrows attempt to exit my forehead. I blinked like a broken turn signal. Bro, I said, and that was all I said. She stared at the floor like it had the answer key. He stared at her like he was trying to unlock a phone with Face ID. I told him to leave, and he did that slow nod that villains do before they monologue. He left anyway, probably to practice his apology in the mirror and forget it on purpose. A week later, she broke up with me, and I did not see the plot twist so much as hear the studio audience gasp. She said it was not about him, which would have been comforting if he was not waiting outside in his car like a rideshare for feeling. They got together officially, and I got very familiar with the taste of air. I tried to take the high road, but the high road had traffic and no shoulder. I unfollowed, I muted, and I swallowed my pride so hard I almost needed water. He posted couple photos where my couch was visible in the background, which felt like a tax I forgot to file. He captioned one of them, "Find someone who chooses you," and my eyelid tried to start a fight.